All right, guys, so today's video is something that's, I'm going to just say it, it's pretty special. We're talking about truly wireless earbuds all the time, and a lot of them are the same, but every now and then there's one that comes along that is just, it just blows away a lot of the other competition. And the fact that they're doing it at $79. And I'm talking about the Sabbat E12. Now, first off, just like me, I'm sure you guys are thinking the same thing. I've never heard of that company. And that's kind of the theme with a lot of these truly wireless earbuds. The MeFo 05s have been one of my favorites, and I've never heard of that company before. So definitely don't judge a book by its cover, and don't judge a book by a title you've never heard of. This is one of those truly wireless earbuds that I'm going to tell you right now, you probably should go ahead and check out, which if you are interested, there's a link below. But before we get into all that, let's get into some of the features. By itself, it's getting somewhere between 6 to 8 hours of battery life. I tend to get more closer to 6, but I listen to my music fairly loud, so I guess it kind of depends on what you're doing with them and how loud you're listening to them. The case is going to get you an additional 4 charges, so overall you're going to get about 30 hours before you need to charge the case. Now, speaking of charging the case, this comes with USB-C charging. And as you can see, the case is extremely tiny. I really like the look of this. I don't like the fact that it is like a glossy plastic black, which basically means it's showing fingerprints from like the time you pick it up. But like I said, you can see on the back, it has USB-C charging. You can also see that there are battery indicator lights above the USB-C port. Now, the one thing I want to point out here, Apple, with their new AirPods, are charging $200 for a product that doesn't sound fantastic, but you're getting Qi wireless charging on the case. You're able to place the case on top of a wireless charger and charge it that way. These $79 pair of truly wireless earbuds do the exact same thing. As you can see on the bottom, if you look really close, you can see basically a little design there that shows you this is where you place it on your wireless charger to start wireless charging, and it does it just perfectly. The case is probably my biggest complaint. When a company has to include another carrying pouch for your carrying case to go into, that's not a good sign about how the durability as far as scratches and stuff are going to hold up on a case. But again, it's a case, so it's not that big a deal. Now, another thing that I want to point out with these are they're IPX5 rated, so they're sweat proof, and like if you're out in the rain, that's fine, but definitely do not submerge these into water. I wouldn't do that and feel comfortable with it. You can use these both at the same time, or you can use them one at a time individually. Now, one thing that's really cool inside the box is that it comes with 6 other ear tips other than the ones that already come on it. And every single one of these, when you put them in, to me, kind of tweak the sound a little bit more. There's some that could give you more treble than bass. There's some that are really bass heavy, and that's why I absolutely love these things. This is the most bass I've ever heard out of a truly wireless pair of earbuds. And we'll get into that in the sound in a second, but just know that right off the bat, once you put the earbuds in, you can alter the sound just simply by continuing to change these ear tips. You'll basically be able to find a sound that fits the sound signature that you like. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into the earbuds themselves. This, to me, is also where it gets exciting, because the pair that I got is the chrome, like the shiny silver look. Now, it is something that kind of stands out a lot, but one thing that's cool about this company, again, I've never heard of them, but if you go look up the E12s, definitely make sure it's the E12s. They have the X12s, and it looks like a whole different kind of fitting in the ear, and I can only vouch for these. But the E12 comes in so many different colors and designs. There's like gold, purple, red. Basically, like I said, again, just check the link and you can look at all the different designs. There's tons to choose from. Now, the look of the earbuds themselves, when they're in, this is one of the most slim looking earbuds I've seen. When they're in your ear, they're not sticking out much at all. A lot of earbuds are protruding a lot because of their battery or the drivers that are inside of them, and these don't do that. And for them to sound the way they do, it's just incredible what they're able to pack into this little thing. You can see the little pin connectors, again, just like other ones. These just match up inside the charging case to start charging them. Your left and right are marked right in between the connecting points on the inside part of the earbud. On the outside, both of them have a single button, and there's an indicator light next to it to show you when it's paired or when it's in pairing mode. Now, another thing that other companies should pay close attention to is the button placement on here, and the sensitivity of the button is just perfect. that when it's in your ear, you can easily just tap it and it will pause. You can skip songs, you can change your volume, you can do everything just by simply just barely pushing these. You're not jamming them into your ear, but they're not so sensitive that you can barely touch them by accident and it starts to do these things. So the way that this was designed, again, I know it sounds like I'm gushing over these, but the fact that these are $80 and I know what other companies are charging way more for, it's insane what they were able to do with these. Now, there are mics on both of these. Call quality on these are okay. I mean, it's, again, nothing fantastic, but it'll definitely get the job done. It's not something that's going to make you sound tinny. So if your main purpose is to have a pair that you can take calls with, these will more than do the job as well. So let's get into the sound, because this is the biggest selling point of these. All of those added features, having the Qi wireless charging, having 30 hours of battery life before you have to charge the case, having IPX5, all that's just well and good, but these things have to sound good. And for $80, it's a no-brainer. Like, this is the ones to go get. Even though the MIFO 05 has a little bit more on the feature side, these blow them away as far as sound goes. And I didn't think I'd find a pair that sounded as good, especially maybe even close to the price range, but these sound just as good as some of the 2 to 3 times more expensive pairs, and they're only $79. So I know it sounds like this is just straight up promoting these, but that's kind of where I'm at with these. There's nothing bad that I can say other than the case can show scratches. If you're to that point that that's one of the only complaints you can have about a product, then it says a lot about the product itself. So let me go ahead and try to explain the sound, because again, with these ear tips, you can kind of tweak it in any way you want. I had some where it was just extremely clear, but my personal preference found me with the perfect bass. And when I say perfect bass, I mean very strong, very, very punchy. It is somewhat tight. It's a little looser than most bass, but that's kind of how I like things. I like it more in your face. I like to feel impact. Like watching movies sounded amazing with this. But music, especially considering I like all genres, and the way that this balanced out, again, the bass is punchy, but the mids and the trebles are pushed very forward. It's a very exciting earbud. It's picking up minimal sounds that is usually in the background of most earbuds and making them just crystal clear. Like, they really focused a lot on bringing out clarity. No matter which ear tip I tried, every single one of them were clear, but every single ear tip kind of adjusted the bass a little bit. And I found the one that's just, it's so clear, but so punchy and just so fun to listen to music. And again, I did switch them out and listen to the ear tips that were more clear. So if you're somebody that listens to classical or country or things where clarity is a little more important than the bass, and then you have that option. The sound imaging with these when I was watching movies was amazing. Again, being able to tell where everything was and where everything was coming from, things moving from right to left, and then having the space. It never felt like anything was very close. These are listed as noise canceling. Again, I think with most truly wireless earbuds, they're being jammed in your ear, so how much could you possibly hear on the outside anyway? So if you want something to be able to block out a lot of your outside noise, this will definitely do it. But the volume on these can get so loud that it's to a point where you're not going to hear anything but what you're trying to hear. So guys, it's kind of a no-brainer with these. This is probably the easiest pair of truly wireless earbuds to recommend. My only hesitation is the fact that I've never heard of the company before, and so sometimes I'm leery with that, but I feel like for $80 as opposed to spending $200 on an Apple product that is nowhere near sounding like these do. Even the Samsung Galaxy Buds do not sound as good as these do, and those are $50 more than what these cost. So I have to say it, at this point, at this very moment, if you were in the market for truly wireless earbuds, the Sabbat E12 is the way to go. So anyway guys, that is my video on the Sabbat E12. They come with my highest recommendation. So guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always guys, make sure to stay tuned for more.